What if I told you that one of America's biggest banks helped criminals launder over $600 million in dirty money? And the craziest part? Bank employees were accepting gift cards as bribes to look the other way. TD Bank, marketing itself as America's most convenient bank, turned out to be a little too convenient. Between 2014 and 2023, the bank failed to monitor a staggering $18.3 trillion in transactions. That's more than the entire US GDP. Bank insiders were literally helping criminals move millions through ATMs in Colombia, and one money launderer was depositing millions in cash every single day. But here's where it gets even more shocking. Bank employees were caught on camera watching silently as criminals conducted illegal transactions. Some staff members were even messaging each other, joking about how they were the most convenient bank for criminals. The price tag for this massive failure? TD Bank had to pay nearly $1.9 billion in fines, but that's not even the worst part. Stay tuned to learn how this massive scandal went undetected for years and the 3 crucial lessons that could prevent this from happening again. Imagine discovering your local bank was secretly helping criminals move millions in dirty money. Not just any bank, but TD Bank, one of America's top 10 financial institutions. But what's even more shocking? The bank's own employees were in on it. Between 2014 and 2023, TD Bank became a playground for criminal organizations. Here's the wild part. While most banks carefully watch every dollar that moves through their systems, TD Bank was only monitoring 8% of their transactions. That means over $18 trillion went completely unchecked. That's like leaving the bank vault wide open and turning off all the security cameras. But it gets even crazier. Let me introduce you to David, a money launderer who moved nearly $500 million through TD Bank. His secret weapon? Gift cards. He'd hand them out to bank employees like candy, and they'd look the other way while he deposited millions in cash every single day. Think that's bad? Wait until you hear about the Colombian ATM scheme. 5 TD Bank employees were secretly working with criminals, helping them funnel $39 million to Colombia. They'd open fake accounts, hand out dozens of ATM cards, and even get paid through Zelle for their help. One employee was so bold, they used the illegal cards at their own bank's ATM. The real scandal. TD Bank's leadership knew something was wrong. Their own employees were messaging each other, joking about being the most convenient bank for criminals. Internal watchdogs raised red flags for years, but the bank cared more about keeping costs low than stopping crime. But here's the million-dollar question. How did they finally get caught? And what happened to all those employees who chose gift cards over doing the right thing? These weren't just policy violations. These were serious crimes. The bank broke federal laws designed to stop money laundering, failed to report suspicious transactions, and some employees actively helped criminal organizations move their money. Think about it. Every dollar they helped hide could have come from drug trafficking, human smuggling, or worse. Want to know the craziest part? This might just be the tip of the iceberg. The story of how law enforcement finally cracked this case, and the shocking consequences for everyone involved. Well, that's coming up next. Stay tuned to learn about the massive fallout from this scandal and the 3 crucial lessons that could prevent this from happening at your bank. The hammer just dropped on TD Bank's massive money laundering scandal, and the punishment is absolutely mind-blowing. We're talking about the biggest criminal penalty in New Jersey's history, and trust me, what happened next will shock you. TD Bank had to pay a staggering $1.9 billion. That breaks down to $1.4 billion in criminal fines, plus another $452 million they have to give up because it's tied to criminal activity. But here's what makes this case truly extraordinary. Unlike most big banks that just pay their way out of trouble, TD Bank had to do something almost unheard of: stand up in court and plead guilty to federal crimes. Think that's intense? It gets even crazier. For the next 3 years, TD Bank is basically on corporate probation. They have to hire an independent monitor. Imagine having someone watching every single move you make, 24/7, with the power to dig through all your files and question any employee at any time. But here's what everyone's wondering. What happened to those bank employees who took gift cards as bribes, and the 5 insiders who helped criminals move millions to Colombia? Are they facing jail time? Stay tuned to discover the 3 shocking lessons from this massive scandal that could prevent your bank from becoming the next TD Bank. The TD Bank scandal revealed 3 critical lessons that every bank and business needs to pay attention to, because what happened here could happen anywhere. Let me break down these game-changing insights that could prevent the next financial disaster. Lesson number 1. A company's culture can make or break everything. TD Bank employees were literally joking about being the most convenient bank for criminals. Think about that. They knew something was wrong but didn't take it seriously. Why? Because leadership cared more about keeping costs low than stopping crime. When you prioritize profits over protection, you're basically inviting criminals to walk through your front door. Here's where it gets interesting. Lesson number 2 is about systems and technology. TD Bank was only monitoring 8% of their transactions. That's like having security cameras in just one corner of your store. They kept using outdated monitoring systems, even when they knew criminals were exploiting the gaps. But here's the shocking part. They had warnings about these problems for years, but chose to ignore them. The final lesson might be the most important one. Lesson number 3. Employee oversight matters more than you think. Those 5 bank employees who helped criminals weren't master hackers or sophisticated fraudsters. They were regular staff who saw an opportunity because nobody was watching closely enough. And get this, some of them were even using the bank's own email system to coordinate with criminals. But here's what makes everyone nervous. How many other banks might have these same problems right now? And what can you do to make sure your business doesn't Money laundering isn't just something that happens to big banks. It could affect any business, anywhere. And the consequences? Well, you've just seen how devastating they can be. That's why we're on a mission to help you understand these financial crimes through real court cases like TD Banks. Because let's face it, learning from someone else's $1.9 billion mistake is a lot cheaper than making your own. Hit subscribe, tap that notification bell, and leave a comment below telling us which financial crime case you want us to break down next. Because remember, in the world of financial crime, what you don't know can hurt you. Stay safe, stay informed, and we'll see you in the next video.